Hello everyone, welcome to course study on solid mechanics. In today's lecture we are going to discuss the concept of shear stress. Now remember that we have already discussed the concept of shear stress in unit number 1. Shear stress, it is also known as tangential stress. If the external forces tend to shear the member along the cross section, then the internal forces which develop that act parallel to or tangential to the cross section. The shear stress exists between the part of the body when two parts exert equal and opposite forces on each other laterally. So this is the concept of shear stress which acts tangential to the surface. All of you know that when a beam is loaded with pure bending, then it is subjected to bending moment, and the stresses will be the normal stresses in the form of tensile and compressive stresses. It is already discussed in the concept of flexural formula for pure bending. But practically, when the beam is subjected to load, it produces both bending moment as well as the shear forces. Remember that the concept of pure bending does not exist theoretically. It's a hypothetical concept only. In practical way, when the beam is loaded with the forces, it produces the bending moment as well as the shear forces. Due to that, both normal and shear stresses are developed into the beam. Along with the normal stresses, shear stresses are always developed into the beam. Now, in today's topic, we are going to discuss the concept of shear stress actually. This figure shows a beam which has a cross section rectangular one. This is the rectangular cross section of the beam. The width of the beam is B, whereas its depth is H. And this particular beam is subjected to a vertical shear force F. This is shown in figure F. Due to the action of this force F, it will develop the shear stress on any one material, and that shear stress will act parallel to the section of that particular material. So in this figure B shows that the shear stress develop that act tangential to the surface, because our force F is acting in upward direction, and that particular force F will try to shear the member tangentially, and due to that the shear stress means internal resistance will develop which will act parallel to the surface or tangential to the surface. So this is the shear stress. You concentrate on this figure. It is the value of shear stress. It is denoted by the letter tau. Now from figure, tau is the shear stress which is distributed uniformly over the right hand face. Due to the application of shear force, the shear stress develop that will act in this manner. Now we will concentrate on this small figure. The shear stress will act in the downward direction. Due to the action of shear stress, we have the value of shear force. All of you know that tau is F upon A. Due to that, if I calculate the value of force, we will have tau into A. So the force will be the shear force. Shear force, it is in the form of shear stress, and this force will act in the downward direction on the right hand face. You can see in figure also, it is subjected to shear force in the downward direction. Now for the equilibrium in the y direction, because this force is acting in downward direction, means this is the y direction. This is the y direction, and along that direction the shear force is acting in downward direction. Therefore for the equilibrium in the y direction, this total shear force, which is nothing but shear stress into the cross sectional area which is acting over the right hand face, must be balanced by equal and opposite directed shear force. Means this is the equal and opposite directed shear force to counteract the right hand shear force. Now this particular couple of shear force will produce the moment which is acting in clockwise direction. This particular shear force will produce the couple, and that couple will act in clockwise direction. You can see from figure, this force, it is acting in downward direction, and to maintain the equilibrium, this force, it is acting in upward direction. and these particular two forces will produce the couple which will produce the moment in clockwise direction. To counteract this particular clockwise moment, again we have to apply the shear force onto the top face of this particular section. This particular top face will subjected to the shear force, and that particular shear force will produce the moment in anti-clockwise direction. Remember that these two forces will produce the moment in clockwise direction, and for the equilibrium of the beam member, these forces will produce the couple in anti-clockwise direction. Remember that this is the concept of the shear stress. So from this we can observe that regarding the shear stresses on opposite and parallel faces of an element are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. Now, as discussed in the last slide, all of you know that when any face is subjected to the shear force, then to maintain the equilibrium we have to apply equal and opposite force onto the parallel surface, and it has equal magnitude and opposite direction. In the same manner, shear stresses on adjacent or perpendicular faces of an element are equal in magnitude. Again, this is also subjected to the shear stress, and it will act in anti-clockwise direction. To maintain the equilibrium, we must apply an equal and opposite couple. Therefore, this is the concept of shear stress. Now, to discuss the concept of shear stress, again we will consider the another example. Now, from figure A, we have two wooden beam. This is beam 1 and this is beam 2. These two beams are glued together at this surface. These two beams are glued together at this surface. Due to that, it will act as a one member. It will act as a single unit, and when it is subjected to an external load P, due to that the shear stresses will be developed within the surface where we have applied the glue, and that particular internal shear stresses will try to sliding of that particular member with respect to each other. But if I consider two separate pieces of the beam, and if it is subjected to external load, then there will be no shear stresses developed within the member. So remember that because of the presence of these shear stresses, the single solid beam is much stiffer and stronger than the two separate beams, because it produces the internal shear stresses to counteract the external shear force. Now we are going to discuss the concept of complementary shear stress. In the last slide we have discussed about the concept of shear stress only. Now we are going to discuss the concept of complementary shear stress. From figure, let us consider a rectangular block ABCD. This is ABCD. A rectangular block ABCD. Assume that the set of shear stresses tau on opposite direction as displayed in figure is applied over the surface of rectangular block AB and CD. Now this surface AB is subjected to shear stress in this manner, and this surface CD is subjected to shear stress in this manner. You concentrate onto the direction of the force shear stress. Now if you consider the effect of this set of shear stress of opposite direction, we can easily say that there will be the zero net force acting over the rectangular block. As these forces are equal and opposite in direction, then the net force will be zero, but at the same time it will produce one couple which will act in anti-clockwise direction. So this particular couple will act in anti-clockwise direction. In order to maintain the equilibrium of the rectangular block, there must be one more couple of same intensity acting over the rectangular block in opposite direction. In order to maintain the equilibrium of this particular couple, there must be the another couple acting over the rectangular block in opposite direction, that is in clockwise direction. So this couple is this one, which is acting in clockwise direction. Therefore, there will be the one more set of shear stress, that is tau dash, of same intensity acting over the rest two opposite surface of rectangular block, that is side AD and BC. And this set of shear stresses will be termed as complementary shear stresses. Remember that from the figure we can easily observe that the face AB is subjected to shear stress tau, whereas the face CD is subjected to shear stress tau. Due to that, it will produce the moment in anti-clockwise direction. To maintain the equilibrium, we must apply the equal and opposite shear stress onto the two other sides. Therefore, that two sides are acting in this manner and it will produce the couple in clockwise direction, and that value of shear stress is tau dash. And these two equal and opposite forces which are acting over the faces of that rectangular block are known as complementary shear stress. Therefore, we can say that according to the principle of complementary shear stress, a set of shear stresses acting across a plane will always accompanied by a set of balancing shear stresses of similar intensity across the plane and acting normal to it. A set of shear stresses acting across a plane will always accompanied by a set of balancing shear stress. Means for the clockwise couple we have to apply the anti-clockwise couple also, so that the equilibrium can be maintained, and these stresses are known as complementary shear stresses. Now let us consider that the thickness of rectangular block ABCD normal to the plane of the paper is 1 or unity. If I consider this is a rectangular block ABCD and this is a rectangular block ABCD and it has a thickness in this manner. So this value can be considered as a unity and it is perpendicular to the plane of the paper. So this value is considered as a unity. Now we have applied a set of shear stresses tau and set of complementary shear stresses tau dash onto the faces of rectangular block. This value is tau. Again this value is tau. This value is tau dash and this value is tau dash. Let us determine the forces acting on surface AB and CD of rectangular block. Therefore, the force acting on surface AB is equal to shear stress into area, which is equal to shear stress is denoted by the letter tau and area is AB into 1, because this face is AB and its thickness is 1, which is unity 1, and that is perpendicular to the plane of the paper. Therefore, we have the final value of force which is acting on surface AB is equal to tau into AB. In the same manner, direction of force tau AB acting on surface AB will be towards right. This direction is towards right. Similarly, force acting on surface CD will be tau CD, and the direction of tau CD will be towards left. These two forces will produce an equal in magnitude and acting in opposite direction, and therefore it will develop one couple which will be acting in anti-clockwise direction. The effect of these shear forces due to the effect of shear stress will be in anti-clockwise direction. The couple developed by the shear stresses will be tau into AB into BC. Similarly, to maintain the equilibrium, a couple developed by the set of complementary shear stress will be tau dash into BC into AB. Therefore, in order to balance the rectangular block, couple developed by the applied set of shear stress tau and the complementary set of shear stress tau dash must be equal. If I equate both the equation, we have final equation as tau equal to tau dash. It means that those are the set of shear stresses which are acting over the face of the rectangular block, and those shear stresses are equal in magnitude. Therefore, we can easily say that from the above equation that a set of shear stresses acting across a plane will always accompanied by a set of balancing shear stress of similar intensity across the plane and acting normal to it. So in this manner we have discussed about the concept of shear stress and the concept of complementary shear stress. Remember that the complementary shear stress and the shear stress both are equal in magnitude. Therefore tau is equal to tau dash. In the next lecture we will discuss the concept of shear stress distribution in a section of beam. So we will stop here. Thank you.